What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you so soon, but Chantal has started a series which I'm going to call Diners, Drive-Ins, and Diabetes. So let me just start by saying this entire series, which is her driving around town, showing her favorite food stops, proves she doesn't care about her health. Set aside diabetic, set aside leaving Kuwait, her physical state right now. She's choosing food over everything and everyone. She's truly doing what she wants and what she could not do in Kuwait. She couldn't drive around and give in to all these cravings. This is a terrible idea. She starts off, though, with a hameo for the holidays. We see her in the car. And while the last 2 days she's been unwilling to share anything about her location, she said she's now going to travel around Ottawa and Cornwall. And she admits that people are going to roll their eyes, but, before she gets, quote, really serious, she wants to have her favorite snacks one last time. And let me just offer this whole last time is becoming the last time for her. As in, she won't be here to make this choice of what to eat anymore. She's not making any sacrifices. Listen, the food does not care. Her body does not care. Her body is not seeing this as some final send off for the food. It's simply getting provided more foods it cannot handle anymore. She has put her body through immense trauma. She's lost organs, other organs aren't working properly, and it's strictly based on this lifestyle. And yet here she is, pulling out a big Turk bar and taking the first bite. Was this not the point of going back to Canada? I mean, let's be fair, okay? She was in Canada her whole life. She was in Kuwait 16 months, 14 months. If you factor in the Thailand trip, that's less than a year. So where is this elaborate hometown tour coming from? Projecting that, things have changed to the point they're barely recognizable. You really do get the impression watching this, she needed to find a way to justify eating all this food, and this was the way she was going to do it. And keep in mind, this video was likely filmed while her husband sits there halfway across the world mocking other reaction channels. He doesn't care what she's doing to her body. She doesn't care what she's already done to her body. So why should any of us collectively care? She talks about how much she loves driving and seeing, again, how much things have changed. And honestly, we start this tour looking at a strip mall. She goes through how the stores have changed, expressing the memories of eating spaghetti there as a child, including a menu and going into great detail. She talks about how the spaghetti is a comfort food now. But honestly, everything to her is a comfort food. And she needs comfort from everything. Almost on brand to what I talked about before, she starts talking about the winter scenery and how much she used to hate it. But now, having been in constant hot weather and sunshine, it's changed her. It was a year. It could not have changed her that much. She has a genuine remorse in passing where an A&W used to be. She goes past a bunch of discount chain hotels, which made me think about the infamous Blob and the Knob episode, where she lied about being with Natter, and ironically, she doesn't want to talk about that. She just insists that she gets recognized in public all the time, and now she encourages people to approach her. I also just want to let you know none of this is edited. It's pure dash cam. We get a blend of her talking about random memories, her family's religion, the shape that she's in. She pulls into a park, which oddly seems like the one she's been streaming from. She drives around the park talking about how bumpy it is. She expresses that Cornwall is known for its parks and trails. She never really used them outside of a couple times I can remember. She talks about how happy she is to be driving past the river. And for the record, from the 2 minute and 49-second mark to the 11-minute 44-second mark, it's pure dash cam. It's not been edited, it's not been sped up. This literally accounts for half the vlog. She spends about 4 minutes on the main highway, so this tour is likely less than 5 miles. Once she gets out of the car, her breathing, which has gotten worse, is on full display. She struggles to say more than 5 words at a time. She goes back into this concept of being torn between Kuwait and Canada. The climate changes, but home is where Salah is. At the 12-minute and 52-second mark, I want you to go watch her video. And I want you to listen very closely. Because I hear someone else in the car say, go. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. She didn't have anyone with her later on or seemingly prior, but it's just weird. She wouldn't say go to herself. Someone clearly was giving her direction. She kind of takes this ice-covered road on the way out, goes to the main road and offers that she's had an iced coffee already, but says it's not from Starbucks. So, an iced coffee, a chocolate bar, and we're going to a buffet. I just honestly can't believe that she thinks people are not going to be critical of this. Whether they're polite or not, should not matter. There's not one reaction channel that should be sitting there and saying, yeah, this is a great idea. We get more driving, talks about her being nostalgic. She goes to this restaurant called Jack Lee's. She struggles to parallel park. She says she found it on a museum website. She does show some pictures of it being built back in the 70s and says it's not been renovated. And she says it's not the best food, but it's just hard to get past the size of her in the car. She says that she's not going to have pork. She talks about how cheap this used to be and all the foods that she loves, including the fried wings. She surmises by coming back to all of this, she's focusing on the good memories, she's having fun, and again, just treats this year away as if it was this massive amount of time. We then literally hear her do her best Big Bad Wolf impersonation at the door, huffing and puffing, I guess waiting for someone to open it before she blew it down. And then, of course, we see a largely empty restaurant before she gets herself 2 plates of food. Now, she doesn't film much in the restaurant, and she offers in the car later that she couldn't due to the copyright music, but projects that she wants to do this again. You know, if you go back to her live stream the other day, which was roughly 90 minutes, you know, people told her, hey, we want to see holiday lights. We want to see you driving around. Just go get a coffee. No one said, film yourself driving for 8 minutes, and in the beginning of the video, have a coffee and a chocolate bar, and at the end of the video, have 2 plates of Chinese food. No one said that. When we talk about channels that get views, when she talks about people copying her content, so much of it comes down to you, the person listening, the viewer. What are you engaging with? What do you want to watch? And the fact that her channel literally sits there and tells her not only what they want to see, but what they don't want to see, because certainly there are trolls there. And we all understand anyone sitting there and encouraging this or telling her to eat more, those people are trolling her with her own health. But they're also giving her the ability to do what she shouldn't do under the guideline of, well, this is what that person wanted to see. That's where the idea of feeder content comes in. But you can't even say it in this aspect because you're not seeing her eat. You're just seeing her drive to the food. It's kind of a different concept of what she's done in the past. It's all of the bad things that came from the mukbang without the mukbang. It's almost like a behind the scenes of one, which no one ever wanted. But thankfully they aren't on the floor anymore, so I guess did we kind of make progress? I don't know. But the lack of a seatbelt, just again, her girth in the car, you cannot not notice it. And again, her enthusiasm to do this again is frightening. Love to know your guys' thoughts on this. Even though it wasn't up long, I'm going to leave you with the comments from the last video where Salah tries to be a reaction channel. And you know, when she thinks driving around restaurant to restaurant is somehow the best thing she's doing for her health to get back to Kuwait and her husband, there is no way that I will not be back as soon as I can with more content.